Hey, welcome in. If you're clicking on this video, then you want to know about high-level D&D. Maybe specifically level 20 and above, 25, 30, who knows? Go crazy, why the heck not? It's your game, you can do whatever the heck you want. I don't know any references to specifically plot here, so if you know people, know creators, drop in the comments, but I'm sure by now people have made higher level stuff for 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. But right now, as the rules are written from Wizards of the Coast, WotC, I might refer to them as Wizards of the Coast, WotC has only put out up to level 20, specifically with the 5th edition rules right now. Maybe in 4th edition, maybe they did higher, I don't know. Right now, it just goes up to level 20, which is very powerful, very high up there. At that point, each of the players, the characters, have at least something that's like game-breaking stuff that like allows them to cheat death, allows them to do insane, crazy things. I can show it here on the video right now, kind of going through some of them. You can see it. It's insane. If you're a player yourself, you've probably already seen this. If you're a DM, you're probably worried about this. But don't be worried about it. I can tell you firsthand up to, well, I guess not exactly level 20, I'll admit that. But level 14 right now with my party, and they will be leveling up. I told them as long as you guys want to keep playing, I'm down to keep running it. Eventually, they will get to 15, 16, and on up. So I looked into this a bunch, kind of researched myself, and I just wanted to know ahead of time how that all works, what to be afraid of, what to know, what to kind of avoid, that whole thing. And I was like, well, might as well make a video about it since I learned this stuff. Maybe other people might want to know as well. My kind of take on it, what I looked into, that whole thing. The Dungeon Master Guide, the DMG from WotC, a lot of acronyms here, they talk about it, and they talk about the fact that when you get to the higher levels, it is, I mean, the whole thing is a story-based collaborative game, role-playing game. However, when it gets to the higher level stuff, you kind of have to keep in mind that these aren't the same characters that were level 5, level 6, 7, 8 when you guys first started playing. They have accomplished some quests. They have ticked off some people. They have made people very happy, saved people, maybe, hopefully, unless you got those edgelord murder hobos, as they call them. Avoid those. Hopefully your party is not that, but we also have those occasionally. So hopefully they've saved people, and hopefully they have made an impact in the world. My current players, their characters, they are a group called Realm Jumpers Anonymous. They chose themselves as kind of my thing. I like to make sure that the players / characters choose the name for their party. I know some parties out there, the DMs just give it to them. But I want it to be kind of like they earn it and they own that title. So, but that's, I digress. But so they're level 14, and they have just helped put in a new king, essentially. They killed off the old king. The son is now the new king. They've built out a council of other members throughout the land, different regions and stuff like that, different backgrounds. And so, yeah, so they have made a lot of good alliances. They've also made some enemies. So they'll find some of those out. But that's a thing. You know, as you continue on playing, DMing, think about those things. Think about those things of what they've gone through, what they've accomplished, maybe what they failed at, and the repercussions of that, and what that could lead into. Because whether it's successful, whether you kind of plan something out, there's been countless times where I planned something out, like, okay, this is probably not going to go according to plan, and that's okay. They're probably not going to die here. My goal is to not kill them off in this moment. So what can be the repercussions of a failure? And then, of course, they throw off my plans, and then I have to adjust and kind of wing it and kind of figure things out on the back end, because it is collaborative. If this is your first D&D video, I am sorry that this is your first one. There's a lot more better information out there to dive into. This is kind of like if you already know some stuff about it. So maybe some friends, maybe some fan members, if you're watching this. Yeah, there's a lot of other videos out there. Maybe I'll make a video someday kind of talking and kind of diving into what to expect, what to kind of look into what to know about Dungeons and Dragons if you're first time playing it. So, but this is more so higher level stuff, and so kind of you might not understand a lot of this stuff, but so it's collaborative storytelling. So there are going to be moments for the higher level stuff, especially because I would assume that at this point your players have been playing for a while. They've earned those 19, 20 levels, maybe more. And I'll say this real quick. I may have already said it again, but I'll say it again and again. If you know any other third-party creators, please drop in the comments, tag them, whatever you got to do. I want to know other creators who have made higher level stuff, because the DMG or the Player's Guide, whatever, WotC, Wizards of the Coast, they've only made up to level 20. So we'd love to hear more about higher level stuff for people already created, because that would save me a lot of freaking time down the road, because eventually... And I told my players, I was like, yeah, because they made a joke about it recently. And I was like, yeah, if you want to go higher levels, I'm down for it. Let's do it. I will straight up write whole higher levels and everything for each class that they're playing. I don't care. That way we can keep playing, keep having fun. I'll do it. But getting back into the higher level stuff, I made a blog about it, so I'll be referencing some of that. I'm not just going to read off the whole blog. You can do that yourself. I would love to actually add on more tips beyond what I just had in my blog. I wrote it well back, so I may forget some stuff. My bad. But I'll try to put that up on the screen real quick right here. You can kind of see through it real quick. But also, you can actually read through it through the link in the description. Like they talk about on the blog here, is it has to be a bigger storyline. I mean, it's a dumb thing to say, but... us as DMs, we tend to be used to writing encounters, writing adventures, writing some story arcs, maybe 3-part story arcs, whatever it might be. But to actually have the characters and party impact things on a regional basis, sure, we'll say that. On a regional basis, maybe the whole plane of existence, it really has to scale up to that Avengers level, Endgame, Infinity War, Justice League, Zack Snyder cut. It has to be that much larger scale. And that can be tough. Absolutely can be tough. And so it isn't going to be, I'm trying to kill off my players every single time, because when you get to 19 and 20, you're probably not going to. Thinking of a movie director versus a DM, because the scale and the movies that I mentioned, Avengers, Endgame, Infinity War, all that good stuff, because the scale is so high up there, you also have to scale how you build things out, how you write, how you plan for what's to come next as best you can, because it is collaborative. I'm sorry if you're a type A personality and want to stick with all the math and stick with all the numbers, but you kind of have to throw caution in the wind. When you get to the level higher, the 19, 20, etc., the higher levels there, it's a lot more based on the story of it all. You literally can't, because the CR is typically going to be like a CR 30, for instance, is usually the deities. And so with Dungeons and Dragons, with WotC, Wizards of the Coast, how they built out CRs, typically, roughly, if you play the monster, the deity, the dragon, whatever it is, the Tarrasque, which for those who don't play, it's a giant monster that is like essentially Godzilla. If your party is going against a CR 30, we'll name it, and they are level 20, the way that WotC's written it out is typically 2 level 15s should roughly be able to take down a CR 30 monster or enemy. So if your party is 3 or 4, maybe 5 level 20s, there is not at all any created, especially Wizards of the Coast, CRs, challenges, whatever you want to call them. There isn't anything to that level. So the fun part of it comes down to you as the DM kind of either creating that, finding it online, however you want to do that. But you do kind of have to be a little loosey-goosey on the rules there. Yeah, you just have to be a little loosey-goosey, I'm sorry. If you're the type A personality that just wants to stick with the rules and go as is, it's going to be tough. But hey, it's a learning experience for you as well. If you're the type A personality, then hey, it's going to be a little rough for you, because it is a role-playing game. It is a collaborative storytelling game. So you may have to kind of, like I said, be a little loosey-goosey on the rules with the CR. Unless you want to go out there and create a CR 80 monster. good golly, please share it. Make a link and share it, because I would also like to see how terrible that is, because I'm sure it's going to be frightening for the players. But it's more so story based. It's more so like you aren't really going to throw one monster at the party. It's so much easier that way. Trust me, I like just throwing big monsters at my parties, and it's fun, and it's, yeah. But unfortunately, WotC doesn't make that stuff. There might be third-party creators, but you may have to just create it yourself or get a group of enemies against them. Practical tips and stuff like that. Man, you can see it on my blog here, and I'll read it off right now, actually. One of the tips: treat your game like a finale. Flashbacks, returning villains, massive payoffs, personal stakes. Let the players feel the consequences of their journey. And I mentioned that, the fact of reference back enemies, reference back players or characters that they've saved, that they didn't save. There's going to be consequences to each, because unfortunately, you see movies and television shows where somebody saves someone and they shouldn't have. That person turns out to be a villain of some kind. So run with that and make some interesting stories out of it. Another one is, like, if your boss monster doesn't feel like the Dark Souls final boss, it's not worthy of a level 20 party. Because that's the tough thing, is that, like I mentioned, typically if your party is, a 3 group of all 20s, has to be a CR 60. And with that, I will say another little tidbit, another little practical tip, which is also in the WotC books as well, the 3 that they came out with in this past year. One of them talks about the fact of the monsters in those books are created to not hold back. Give it all to your players. Don't try to take it easy on them. Don't try to kill them and go for their head to be chopped off every round. But they're written and created to use those layer actions, use those legendary actions. I make those mistakes still to this day. I've been playing and DMing for quite some time. But just last session, I threw something at my party, and they dealt with it, kind of, sort of. We'll see what happens. But I legit left the group, and I left the session, and I was like, dang it, they have legendary resistances, so I could have saved when he failed to check, essentially. Legendary actions, layer actions, all that stuff. And whether you're playing by the old rules, 2014 rules, or the 2024 rules, both have those options. And so it's written, especially now, I don't know if the old ones are written that way as well, but they've said, don't go after and try to kill your player every single round. However, there's no reason to hold back. The way that these monsters are designed, the CRs with them, and roughly how strong your players might be, your characters, then you can actually just throw it all at them. If it's a full attack of whatever it might be, multi-attack, legendary actions, legendary resistances, technically, it's all built in. But you as a DM, that's the fun part, is you have to gauge the fun. You have to gauge where the party's at. And so if they feel like this session or this combat's going on for too long, then you kind of have to just adjust and kind of figure it out. Lastly, as I mentioned in my blog, you can even see it right here. You're not trying to control the chaos anymore. You're here to channel it. So, just that. Don't try to have everything aligned, have everything perfectly neat. You can prep all you want, but realize that things like you've been playing aren't going to go according to plan, especially this higher level stuff. Because your players have been playing for quite some time, there's a good chance that since you as a DM know your players, there's a good chance that some of your players know you as a DM. And so if you want to go all out and kind of like really shake things up, look back at what you've done before, the combat encounters, what you've thrown at them, the challenges, the puzzles, and do the complete opposite. Find out what you've done, look at your own pattern, and shake it up so that kind of shocks them, because some of them might be like, okay, well, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. Well, he's never done this, so he probably is not going to, yeah. So shake it up. Don't try to control it. Just enjoy it yourself. your players have been playing for quite some time, if you are level 19, 20, etc., you can kind of lean on that collaborative side of things a little bit more. That's the fun part of both groups that I run. They've all been playing for quite some time. So lean on that collaborative stuff. It's what I enjoy the most. A lot of the stuff, if you are a DM, you probably know a lot of this stuff. And so, yeah, trust yourself. Enjoy the chaos. It's not going to be perfect. You can't build around all the CRs and perfect all the math. Some of it will be kind of filling it out. Okay, my party is still having a lot of fun with this combat. Let me stretch it out a little bit. Or my party is done with this combat. Then wrap it up, whatever it might be. There's so many options out there. And so you as a DM, you're creative. You know this stuff. Have fun with it. And yeah, just realize that there isn't a perfect answer. So I'm sorry if you got to the end of this and you want a perfect answer. There isn't a perfect answer. Just lean on your party members a little bit more. If you're level 20, you've been playing for a while, they know you, you know them. Enjoy the game together and just have fun with it, That's all I got, really. I'm sorry if this is just a lot of me rambling on. I want to throw in some practical tips of just like build up the story. But also, if you want to go higher than level 20, hopefully someone in the comments has actually made level 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, maybe even higher. Who knows? Maybe they've made some much higher level stuff out there. That'd be awesome. So hopefully someone in the comment has dropped that. Maybe if I get time, I'll actually look it up as well and see if I can find anyone who's done that as well, because that'd be cool to have in the comments here. But check out the description. I have my blog there. I have a couple links and stuff like that. But I just appreciate you watching this video. Hopefully you learned something from it. Just trust yourself. Have fun with it. Don't be too hard on the math, because these higher levels, it's not always going to work out. So yeah, that's all I got. I'm Ryan, aka 2214 Forge. Please like, subscribe, drop a comment saying hey, introduce yourself if you haven't already. I do have like an intro video up, whatever. I've kind of talked about the channel a little bit. So if you want to check that out too, cool. I'll probably be having new uploads every Thursday or Friday. At least Friday. If I could bump it to Thursday, that'd be cool. But at least every Friday. So appreciate you being here. I'm Ryan, aka 224 Forge, and I'll see you in the next one.